Gather in the resolve that this evil must come to an end in our land.
Right now at 6 o'clock, Vice President Mike Pence is in South Texas meeting with survivors of the church massacre in Sutherland Springs and victims' families.
Moments ago, the Vice President spoke right outside the First Baptist Church.
Standing in this place is very humbling to me. Every American has been inspired by the heroes of Sutherland Springs. The first responders, law enforcement, the medical professionals, many of whom we met today, whose swift professionalism saved lives. And the two Texas heroes, who I know don't consider themselves heroes, who we had the privilege to meet on this street where they confronted, fired on, and chased down the assailant.
The Vice President is now headed to nearby Floresville, where he will speak, we're told, at a prayer service that'll happen this evening. That's going to be getting underway in just about an hour. And the reality is this small town of Sutherland Springs didn't get much attention before Sunday, of course. But the worst mass murder in Texas history has now changed that.
Our J.D. Miles joins us live from Sutherland Springs right now, where the Vice President and Texas leaders will meet to talk about this ongoing investigation.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say... Kaylee and Doug, the Vice President and Governor spoke right here in front of the church, which we are allowed to see up close for the very first time. Mike Pence assured people here that they will get through this with faith and the goodness of Sutherland Springs. He also shared stories of his meeting with survivors and promised to get to the bottom of why the shooter was allowed to illegally use guns. One of his victims was a teenager, denied a chance at life, leaving her friends inconsolable. Behind each bouquet placed on the ground near the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs, there's a story. In 17-year-old Allison Gould's case, the flowers are for 16-year-old Haley Kruger.
Hard. I'm taking it really, really hard. I'm trying to get this sunk in. It's really hard to think that your best friend is gone.
Gould and her mother visited the scene of Sunday's massacre, where plywood can be seen covering blown out doors and windows. It's where Haley and 25 others formally identified today perished during a Sunday morning service.
It's like I'm waiting to wake up, like none of this is real. This is a really bad dream because you don't expect to go to church. That's where you're supposed to go to be safe.
Haley was described as an athletic, smart young woman who was always trying to get the Goulds to join her in church.
I knew everything about her, and when I found out I didn't know what to do, I cried and I fell to the floor.
She had a life ahead of her. She had a full life ahead of her, and somebody had to come and take that away. I can't make this better. I can't change what some lousy person did to her.
Like a lot of victims here in this working-class town, Haley came from a struggling family. A family that now faces the reality of preparing for the teenager's funeral. In a heartbreaking message posted on Facebook, her single mother is asking for help getting funeral clothes for Haley's sister and two brothers. And the Vice President singled out the two men credited with stopping the shooter. Now from here he moves on to a public vigil at a nearby high school. That vigil begins tonight at 7. Live in Sutherland Springs, J.D. Miles, CBS 11 News.